Hey gang! Well, in this video we're going to be looking at the city of Chiang Mai. I want to give you a little bit to orient you to the city, and then really I'm going to be talking about what the city feels like to us, because as some of you know, this is the kind of city that Katie and I were saying before we left, we were potentially thinking of living in or relocating in. So I'll kind of give you what our thoughts are on that. So let's head into the video. Cheers. All right, gang, well, welcome to Chiang Mai. Once again, we're up on the roof of my condo, as that seems to be a really good place to do these kind of dialogue things for video. Chiang Mai is a really awesome city to hang out in. It's kind of the cultural center of Thailand. You have Watts everywhere. But going in, well, we'll just edit this out. So first of all, orientation to the city. So one of the most unique things about Chiang Mai is it has a moat. It has an old city with some partially standing walls, and then it's completely surrounded by a moat. So, I mean, this makes, for me anyway, this really adds a lot of charm to the city. You know, any city that is kind of has features that are from its old past or history are always more interesting to me. And then the moat serves as a really nice walkway around the city currently. So you can still walk along the moat, and it's kind of a nicer part of the city to walk around. We stayed outside of that area. The old town is inside the moat, and we stayed outside of that. One thing the city has a lot of is it's just got a lot of great food. So starting with that, you know, thinking about a place that we could live, yeah, the food is a big plus, because this is a city where you can find great Thai food, and northern Thai is sometimes some of the best Thai food in my opinion. And you can find really great Western food, or, well, not even just Western, but other ethnicities. So had some of the best Indian food I've had in a long time here in Chiang Mai. Had some awesome, all sorts of awesome breakfasts here in Chiang Mai that varied from, you know, things like pancakes and waffles done really well to just your standard bacon and egg breakfast. So yeah, I don't think we would ever get tired of eating out here. And, you know, one of the things we've said to folks is, all through Southeast Asia anyway, we aren't even really cooking our own food. We had facilities to cook food at our condo here, and never used them. We did use the refrigerator to store leftovers, but really we were out for every meal, and it's completely economic to do that, and you would not lack for diversity in your diet here in Chiang Mai, because it's really good for that. It also has an airport really close. That was another factor for Katie and I, you know, when we're considering places we might want to actually, you know, relocate to or live a little longer term. You know, proximity to an airport, especially an international airport, is kind of key. So that's really good too. Let's see, other things. Well, public transport. So, you know, last video you saw, Bangkok has really nice both subways and overhead light rail. That's great. You can get anywhere in the city like that. And then you also have Grab taxis. Here in Chiang Mai, there is no real like light rail or metro or subway. But what there are ubiquitous tuk-tuks and things called, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, song tao, which are these red trucks that wander around. And I'll show pictures of them talking about this so you'll get a better idea. you can take these very economically pretty much anywhere in the city. You can also hire them for a day. We hired one for a half day to take us up to Doi Sutep, which is a mountain that has a temple up on top of it, and then also another temple a little lower down. And we basically hired the Songtao, the red truck, to take us up to that temple, hang out and wait for us for as long as we wanted to walk around there. And then once we came back down, he took us down to another temple, to show us that. And I think at this point I'm going to be showing, some of those pictures from the temples. So just to make some comments about that, Chiang Mai is kind of, like I said, the cultural area. We saw lots of temples here. And again, I just want to make a comment that, I mentioned before how I'm gravitate towards these Buddhist temples and really enjoy the locations and the setting. And what it really is about that is, as you look at these images, is, the thing I like is just how much they incorporate nature into the setting. Even the most elaborate urban temples usually have trees, and of course all the art depicted on the temples is usually full of animals and outdoor settings and trees and things like that. So I really do appreciate the Buddhist nature, adding nature into everything. So I think that's a neat factor to it. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about Chiang Mai? Well, I guess just heading straight to the punchline, do Katie and I feel like after a month of living here, which we truly enjoyed, do we feel like this is a place we could live, or, how are we thinking about that whole thing now? This is obviously early in our wandering phase. I think I mentioned to some of you, how the plan was to basically wander for a couple years and see what kinds of places, called to us, what kind of places we would want to live in. And Chiang Mai checks a lot of the boxes. Like I said, it has close by airport. You can live here without a car, although I have to say, if you really did live here, odds are you would eventually end up with a motor scooter. Those are ubiquitous, and they really do make some things very convenient, especially for wandering outside of the city. But public transportation, it ticks that. Food, diversity of food, it ticks that. The culture in terms of the mix of the population, it's a really good mix of things. Some of the negatives are, the biggest negative, and I think maybe at this point I will actually pick up the camera and just say, take a look at that hillside over that way, look around. You can see a general haze in the air. The air quality of Chiang Mai is a questionable thing for us. I think at this point we feel like we knew we were always not going to want to be here during smoky season, which is roughly, it's kind of started, but it really runs February through April. But we thought, okay, we could live here for part of the time, and then that would be the period of time where we would explore other parts of Southeast Asia or go back to Europe or something like that. Now, realizing just how bad the air quality is, even when it's not technically smoky season, I'm not sure we would do this. I think, this wasn't debilitating air quality like New Delhi, and Beijing and some of the other, Kathmandu, some of those other cities can be, but we didn't get sick or immediately have sinus headaches, but we did both feel it. We both noticed the air quality, and we would basically get up in the morning and walk around, and then by the afternoon we wouldn't go out, partly because of the air quality. And it also just takes away from the scenic beauty, which is here, but is spoiled by that. So I think that's kind of generally a killer for this being someplace we'll think about longer term. But that's going to be true about a lot of the cities. I think Chiang Mai did give us some good things to figure out how to gauge cities we would want to be in. So let's see, what else do I want to? Oh, I know. We did, just so I don't not have audio for this part. Wow, New Year's Eve. Yeah, this is a great place to be for New Year's Eve. You're in the land of fireworks, and they did it right here in Chiang Mai. So the imagery you're seeing now is from the top of the roof of the condo, and it's showing almost, I mean, we had almost 360 degrees that were really going off with fireworks. There was one main show that was close that, you know, drew more of our attention, but there was basically fireworks going on all the way around us, and it was really incredible and nice to see. It made for a good night out. So yeah, in closing, so yeah, maybe Chiang Mai is not where we're going to live, but I do think we will pass through here quite a few more times during our journeys. It's a very comfortable place to be. It's very central to some of the places we'll be traveling through around, so it's good that way. And yeah, food, you can't beat it for that. The next video, and one thing that I made a promise to myself was that I would try to get most of the Chiang Mai video done before we actually left Chiang Mai, because once we head out, tomorrow we are heading to Cambodia and going to Angkor Wat, and then we move on to Vietnam, and I think I would be overwhelmed trying to process all of that and also trying to do a video on Chiang Mai. So I think that's why I hopefully have most of the thoughts down on this video at that today. All right, so that proceeds. So the next video will probably cover Cambodia and Vietnam, and it'll be maybe a month or a little less after I put this out. I've also got a video in the works that's on kind of animals we've seen, kind of urban animals, since most of our settings have been urban, so hopefully I'll get that out as well. But, you know, thanks again for watching. I hope these are kind of entertaining. You might see these evolve over time into something a little different, but I think rather than trying to do like, here's all the amazing sights in Chiang Mai, I'm not really trying to tell you where you should go when you come to Chiang Mai. I'm really more just sharing the experience we had here and doing it, you know, in the slow travel way. You know, had several conversations with folks where we were talking about, you know, one of the benefits of staying here for a month is you just don't feel like you have to do everything in a few days, so you don't pack it all in. You really get a much different experience. So that is part of the goal. But all right, we'll see you next video. Bye.